This video is about creating an easy plastic grip in Substance Painter. Very straightforward, and in order to do this video we're going to be using this sort of mock flashlight. I will make the FBX available to you so you can practice along with me if you like. Now there's a couple of things I want to show you. However, I'm going to go into edit mode and I want you to notice these red seams here. I put those seams here not so much to unwrap it, but more to delineate an area where I want the plastic grip to go. So that's one use of seams. And the other use of seams, of course, is to tell it where to split. So I've got a seam here, I've got a seam all the way down the middle on there, and I've got a seam here. All right, this is all going to be one material. It's just the default material right now. It's unwrapped, and so what you need to do is simply take the FBX, and of course you won't necessarily have the blend file. Just open the FBX in Substance Painter, and it will look like this. One thing you may want to do is come up here to display settings and scroll down to where you see anti-aliasing and put a check mark there. It'll just smooth it out a bit. Now what we need to do here is to come to the texture set settings, scroll down, and bake the mesh maps before we can use Substance Painter properly. So I'm going to click there. I'm going to choose 2K here, and I'm going to check ID, uncheck ID, because we haven't used that. Then I'm just going to select bake selected textures, and you will see a preview of what's happening, and you see my little X's or my little squares there. Once it's done, we click return to painting mode, and there is our baked model. It doesn't really look much different than it did before. All right, so this is quite straightforward. In the layers panel here, I'm going to get rid of the default layer. We don't need that. And on materials here, I'm going to just select materials, and I'm going to type in plastic, or start typing plastic, and I'm going to grab this plastic map here, which you should have in your Substance Painter. I imagine you do. Drag it over to the layers, and it will go on everything. I'm going to go into the properties and scroll down to where I see base color, and I'm going to change that to sort of a black color like that. So I do want the black here, but I may want a different material elsewhere. And so what I may do is clear this search here, and in materials search for metal, and then choose a metal that I think I like. You may not have this one, so you could use any metal you want. Just drop that in there and then change the color, make it a little less bright, and maybe make the roughness a little higher, and we'll just do that. But I don't want this everywhere. I just want it on some parts of the model. So I'm going to add a black mask, and I'm going to choose where I want that to show through. Now the best thing to do is to go to orthographic. So I press tab so I can get to this icon here. I'm going to choose orthographic, hold down Alt and Shift, and then snap it into position there. Okay, with that done, I'm going to come to my polygon fill tool over here, and I'm going to use this icon here, polygon fill, and just drag a box like this. And I'm going to do that, but I think I'm going to come a little closer. I'm also going to come one more layer sort of to there. I'm not coming right to where my original seam was, which was that one, and I'll just pull it down here, and that one. So I'm going to do this at the back as well, that much, and just keep pulling to the right to let's see if I come to there. What did I do on this one? I don't think I came quite that far, so I'm just going to undo that, and I'm just going to come to just till it almost goes to there. So there's a little bit of black on each side. It's not critical, I just want to do it that way. Okay, so now we have this set up right here. All right, okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start to create the pattern that I want to do. And I think I'm going to do it down here, just above here. I'm going to add a fill layer, and as you can see, it's gone white here. And I want to make sure that I am going to be in the right place for that. And so I'm going to add a black mask, and using my polygon fill, I can now use my UV chunk fill. And if I click here, you may not see it. Let me do this. There, I'll do that, because if this is on, yeah, you can still see it. You'll notice that it didn't cover the entire black zone. It went to that seam there, and I went to that seam. Now this is not the pattern yet. It's just we're setting up for the pattern. All right, so I'm going to want to do the pattern, but I don't want it white. In fact, all I want is height. So I'm going to alt-click the height, and I'm going to bring it up maybe a third or a half. We'll just leave it there. All right, so what do we want? We're going to come to the black mask. Let me go back to the brush here, and I'm going to add a fill, and then I'm going to open up the properties, and in the grayscale, I'm going to click that, and I'm going to start typing in tile generator, and I'm going to choose this, the tile generator. Click that. And now you'll see some pattern, but it's gone onto the metal all over the thing, and I want it only in this area. So I'm going to come back. This is going to be my pattern here. So I'll label that pattern. I'm going to add a folder and drag this into the folder. And then on the folder level, I'm going to add a black mask and use my polygon fill with the UV chunk and select there again. And now my pattern is restricted to the black area there. Okay, we're doing great. Let's go back to the pattern, back to the tile generator, and use this position slider to sharpen it up like this. And then let's scroll up to tiling and choose 4, 5, or 6. I'm going to go with 5. And see what we're getting here. Let's come out of orthographic back to perspective. It'll just look a little nicer. Now I'm going to change the rotation to 45, and we basically have our easy grip pattern, and we have a little bit of black on that end and on this end, just a little bit. I just think it looks a little bit nicer. There's one more thing that I would like to do to this. Above the tile generator, I'm going to add a filter. So I'm going to come to the magic wand, choose filter, and in the properties, the filter I'm going to select is the blur filter, and have this down at maybe 0.3 or 0.25. Just rounds it and smooths it off a little bit. And that is it. Press tab to come out, and we can see what we have here. Okay, obviously we're not done texturing a flashlight, but there you have your pattern. So you can put that on all kinds of, sticks or cylinders, or laser guns or whatever you want. And that's how you can create a simple pattern in Substance Painter.